They whisper my name in throne rooms and trenches, fate, death, the chronicler. I am the shadow that follows the crown, the silence after the war drum has faded. But honestly, after millennia, I see myself less as a reaper and more as an audience member, the sole spectator in the grand endless theater of history. My job isn't to write the script or choose the actors, but simply to lower the final heavy velvet curtain. I've seen glorious ends. I've watched heroes fall in showers of arrows, their names gasped with a final noble breath. I've seen philosophers die peacefully, surrounded by students. These ends are epic, grand, and, if I'm being truthful, profoundly boring. The moments that truly make me chuckle, the ones that keep this eternal job interesting, are the plot twists, the sublime, unexpected moments of profound irony. It's when the main actors, the titans who believed they held the world's strings, are unceremoniously tripped by the smallest, most ridiculous thread. Take Aeschylus, the father of Greek tragedy, a man who penned 100 epic downfalls for gods and heroes. He deserved a special ending. So I whispered a prophecy to an oracle for him. You will die from an object falling from the sky. Oh, the panic. The poor man became a recluse. He fled the cities, terrified of a collapsing statue or a loose roof tile. He spent his final days wandering the open countryside of Sicily, staring nervously at the empty blue sky, believing he had outsmarted me. He was right, in a way. No building fell on him. There was only an eagle, high above, annoyed. It had just caught a tortoise and needed to crack its shell. It scanned the ground below for a hard, flat rock. And from that height, it saw a perfect one. The glistening, bald head of Aeschylus. Thud, a master of tragedy, killed by a reptile dropped by a bird. A divine slapstick punchline. But my true passion lies with the conquerors, the great men. Take Attila the Hun. The scourge of God. A name that was a prayer for destruction. The mere rumor of his approach emptied cities. He lived by fire and the sword, and the Rhine ran red with his passing. I considered a grand finale, perhaps a glorious last stand, arrows filling the sky, his empire crumbling around him. But no, that's what he would have wanted. It's far too predictable. Instead, I waited. I let him conquer, let him burn, and then I waited for his wedding night. He was celebrating his newest bride, Ildiko, feasting and drinking himself into a stupor, as conquerors do. He collapsed onto his bed, dead drunk to the world. And then the grand, microscopic event. A tiny blood vessel in his nose ruptured. Just a simple nosebleed. But as he lay flat on his back, unconscious and drowning in wine, the blood had nowhere to go but down his throat and into his lungs. Attila, the man who had depopulated nations, the nightmare of Rome, drowned. Not in a river, not in the sea, but in a small, quiet pool of his own blood, in his sleep. Ah, but if Attila was fearsome, no one feared me more than Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of a unified China. A man of such power and paranoia that he built the Great Wall to keep enemies out, and an entire terracotta army to protect him from me in the afterlife. He was obsessed with cheating the system. He demanded an elixir of immortality. His terrified alchemists, desperate to please him, presented gleaming silver pills, promising eternal life. Their magic ingredient? Mercury. They believed its liquid, timeless, mystical nature held the secret to forever. So the emperor, in his desperate quest to live, dutifully swallowed the very poison that would kill him. He died slowly, agonizingly, his mind and body crumbling. But the irony didn't stop there. He died on a royal tour, far from the capital. His chief eunuch, terrified of a rebellion if the death was known, had to hide it. So, for weeks, as the royal carriage journeyed back, they staged a grotesque parade. They ordered carts piled high with rotting, stinking fish to travel alongside the emperor's carriage, announcing that the emperor simply had a craving for seafood. The stench of decomposing fish masked the stench of the decomposing emperor. The man who sought godhood ended his journey smelling like a forgotten dock. If the fear of me can kill, so can simple appetite. Look at King Henry IV of England. A stern, effective, powerful ruler. He survived wars, plots, and treacherous brothers to forge a stable kingdom. He was a master of statecraft. But he had one singular weakness: a plate of lampreys. His doctors warned him, begged him, even forbade him from eating the rich eel-like fish. They were poison to his aging body. But a king is a king, and in 1135, in Normandy, he felt hungry. He ordered a feast of them and gorged himself against all advice. The result wasn't a battle, but a violent, undignified bout of food poisoning, a raging fever, a collapsing gut. And then I arrived. The truly tragic part? His death, caused by indigestion, left a power vacuum. His single legitimate son had already died. His passing ignited a 20-year civil war known as the Anarchy, a period of chaos and suffering that tore England apart. Thousands died, fields lay fallow, and a kingdom bled. All because one man couldn't resist his favorite snack. I flip through my great ledger. The entries are endless. The Swedish king who ate himself to death on cream buns. The French president who died mid-coitus with his mistress. The lines between grand and grotesque, between epic and absurd, are finer than a spider's silk. History reminds us all that you can be a king, a conqueror, or a genius. You can build empires that touch the sky and write tragedies that move the gods. But you are still, in the end, just an actor on my stage. And you never, ever get to know what ridiculous, trivial little joke I've written for you on the final page.